Developing now, two 15-year-old boys in Volusia County facing charges again. They're accused of shooting an 18-year-old in the face and stealing his car. The sheriff says they have lengthy criminal history and have been in and out of jail since they were 12. And even more teens facing charges. Two other teenage boys, they're accused of pulling a gun on a skating rink employee. That happened in DeLand. Deputies say that it happened Friday night. They say the employee asked a group of children to leave the parking lot, and that's when one of the teenagers allegedly handed a Glock handgun to another, and that teen reportedly told the employee, quote, "I will blast you." No one was hurt. Both teens are facing charges. Joining us live this morning to talk about some of these latest incidents and juvenile crime in general is Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood. Great to see you, Sheriff. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. Did you get your Jelly of the Month club?
I did. Jamie handed it off to me this morning. As a matter of fact, it was my breakfast. Always good to see you, Sheriff. Listen, listing off some of these recent crimes, you have been frustrated about this for a long time now. And I think that, one of the big questions that people ask when they hear these cases over and over again is more of a systemic question. What is happening in our society? Where are the parents who are supposed to be watching these children?
Well, the first thing, Amy, is let me just tell you this. In December 31st, 2021, we had 29 Volusia County juveniles who were under some type of Department of Juvenile Justice control for firearms violations. In the first 8 days of 2022, I have 4 who are now in the system for firearms violations. Wow. Somewhere along the line, we have drifted away from holding these kids accountable. When you do a burglary at the age of 12 and then you beat up the occupant of the apartment, then a year later you do a gunpoint home invasion robbery, and then 2 years later you shoot somebody in the face, the system isn't dealing with violent crime like it should. We're optimistic. We have a new Secretary of the Department of Juvenile Justice. We met with him last week. We are hopeful. I'm optimistic that maybe they'll start to tighten the reins a little bit and hold these kids accountable when they want to go out there and rob and threaten people with a firearm.
So, Sheriff, I feel like, it's a system where we're sort of stuck in the middle, right? Because they are still kids. So there is this, desire to want to give them a second chance. And then, unfortunately, what happens is they go out and they commit more crimes. At what point does law enforcement or the justice system say, okay, you've run out of chances?
That's the problem. We don't say that. I mean, one of those kids got a 250-word essay on how to be a good citizen or follow the law, whatever it was. That was his punishment and put on probation. I mean, these kids laugh at that. There's no parental structure at home. The system doesn't do anything to really help them or check on them. And then they go out there and just commit violent crimes knowing that they're not going to be held accountable. When you use a gun, when you put a gun into another human being's face and pull the trigger twice, I think we're beyond patting you on the head and telling you, it's okay, Johnny. No, Johnny needs to get held accountable and realize what he did.
So, Sheriff, a lot of times the parents are never held accountable, right? I think the case in Michigan was probably the first one, the school shooter, where we saw the parents actually held accountable for the kid getting his hands on a gun. Would that help, do you think, with this process of trying to get juvenile crime under control?
It absolutely would. I don't see that on the horizon at all. A lot of these kids are disposable kids. The parents have them and then they turn them off to the streets. In a heartbreaking issue, one of the kids that was arrested on Friday night, his mother was wanted by us, so she would not participate at all in the investigation. Okay, so you can't get parental consent to question the kid because mom won't come into the station because she's got a warrant on her. Unfortunately, she was found dead yesterday of a drug overdose.
Oh gosh, just heartbreaking. And you see these cases over and over again.
Absolutely. It is heartbreaking. And, you're right. Nobody wants to send a juvenile to jail for life. But when you're out there with a gun and you're committing robberies and you're shooting people and you're threatening people, you're threatening classmates with a firearm, you have to be held accountable. There has to be zero tolerance for violence in our community. And yet, that's not how the juvenile justice system is set up anymore. It has drifted so far away that, like I said, 250-word essay for doing a gunpoint robbery and put you on probation, it just boggles my mind.
Yeah, it is. It's shocking. Sheriff Mike Chitwood, Volusia County, thank you, as always, for taking the time to be with us and to talk to us and our viewers this morning. Good to see you, Sheriff.